Who'd have thought that this crooked, floppy-haired lawyer would do so well on his own? Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today, we're counting down our picks for the top 10 hidden references to Breaking Bad in Better Call Saul. For this list, we're taking a look at the best callbacks, or, call forwards to the Breaking Bad series, hidden within the dialogue and scenery of Better Call Saul. Oh yeah, and a huge spoiler alert to anyone who isn't up to date on either series. If you like what you're hearing, be sure to check out the full song at the link below.
You'll win it all if you're not afraid to lose. There's beauty in that darkness. What will it take to soothe your heart?
Number 10. A Cinnabon in Omaha. When the proverbial you-know-what hits the fan towards the end of Season 5 of Breaking Bad, Saul Goodman is considering his options, which mainly consists of keeping a low profile and, well, keeping his life if he's lucky. In a throwaway comment when talking to Walter White, Saul mentions that he'll be lucky if he's managing a Cinnabon in Omaha.
From here on out, I'm Mr. Low Profile, just another douchebag with a job and 3 pairs of Dockers. If I'm lucky, a month from now, best case scenario, I'm managing a Cinnabon in Omaha.
And yep, you guessed it. In a selection of flash-forward scenes from Better Call Saul, we see Jimmy, also known as Saul, also known as Gene, working at a Cinnabon in Omaha. Intense and memorable black and white sequences.
Ladies?
Hey, Gene. Nice lunch?
Oh, yeah. What you need?
Earl's about to come out.
You got it.
Number 9. Casa Tranquila. In his elderly client days, Jimmy would head to a certain Casa Tranquila retirement home in order to generate new business, and he did pretty well for himself in the process.
Hello, ladies. You look beautiful today.
If Casa Tranquila looks familiar, though, it's because it just so happens to be the same retirement home that the wheelchair-bound Hector Salamanca spends his time in during Breaking Bad. It's also the place where Hector and Gus have their final explosive showdown.
A crippled little rata.
And let's not forget, Better Call Saul also shows us how Hector ended up in a wheelchair in the first place, and how he learned to communicate using that dreaded bell.
Hector, this isn't personal. It is! It is personal!
Number 8. Name-dropping Nacho. In a scene from an early Breaking Bad episode, Walt and Jesse have a run-in with Saul, and in an attempt to scare him, they take him out to a hole in the desert. This scene alone has so much content based on Saul's past, including his dollar-in-the-pocket attorney-client technique.
You want attorney-client privilege, don't you? So that everything you say is strictly between us. I mean it. Put $1 in my pocket. Come on, make it official.
Mention of his bad knees, and most significantly, his attempt to point the blame at someone called Ignacio.
It wasn't me, it was Ignacio. He's the one.
At the time, we thought it was just a made-up name. But the prequel series has introduced Ignacio, also known as Nacho, as a key character. So it turns out it wasn't just BS after all.
I trust you.
Number 7. Watch out for tarantulas.
No, I mean, what are you carrying? You know, a piece? What's the make?
Pimento is a cheese. They call it the caviar of the South.
Mike quickly becomes a key focus in Better Call Saul, and we see him leaving Philadelphia and heading to Albuquerque. But there's a moment just before Mike leaves when a bartender tells him to keep an eye out for tarantulas.
Tarantulas they got. That's a big minus in my book.
Well, I will be on the lookout.
A meaningless comment on the surface, but it's actually a reference to the train heist in Season 5 of Breaking Bad, which has Todd shooting a kid on a motorbike. That episode starts with said kid collecting a tarantula in a jar in the desert, and later on, it falls to the ground after he's shot.
No! No! No!
So the mention of tarantulas early on acts as a grim foreboding. Number 6. Ice Station Zebra Associates. This one's a clever one. Throughout Better Call Saul, we learn of the close relationship between Jimmy and Kim, and one of their favorite pastimes is watching movies together, specifically Ice Station Zebra, which Kim has fond memories of because of her father.
What is this weird fascination you have with stories of men trapped on the North Pole?
Ice Station Zebra is on the North Pole. The thing takes place on the South Pole. They literally could not be any more different. My dad loves this one.
Why is this significant? Well, the fake company Ice Station Zebra Associates is referenced during one of Jimmy and Kim's scams. And more significantly, Saul uses Ice Station Zebra Associates as the name of a holding company to help Walt launder his money in Breaking Bad.
What is Ice Station Zebra Associates?
It's a loan out.
Number 5. Belize.
B4, another B.
How about that? As in, before too long, we're gonna have another winner.
Hardcore Breaking Bad fans will remember the time when Saul suggests to Walt that they should send Hank to the same place Mike went. You know, Belize.
Have you given any thought to sending him on a trip to Belize?
Belize?
Yeah, Belize. You know, where Mike went to. Off on a trip to Belize.
Walt did not take that suggestion lightly.
In the recent past.
What is wrong with you?
Of course, Saul was using Belize as a euphemism for murder in that instance. In a callback to that moment, Saul, as Jimmy, drops Belize into his routine during his bingo calling gig at a retirement home in Better Call Saul.
B as in battleship, B as in bourbon, B as in Belize. Beautiful place, so I've heard.
To the uninitiated, it's purely a random holiday destination. But to fans of the series, it's a cool Easter egg that carries a lot of weight. Number 4, the pink pig. Mike certainly got a tough outer shell, both physically and emotionally.
Give me a hug.
And throughout his tenure in the Breaking Bad universe, we never see his guard go down. Well, except for when he's with his granddaughter Kaylee. In Better Call Saul, we see Mike spending lots of time with her and giving her gifts, including a cute pink pig teddy bear.
Why don't you give his foot a squeeze?
He's funny.
Eagle-eyed viewers will have noticed that Mike later uses the same teddy bear to distract a hitman who's waiting on the other side of a door for him in Breaking Bad. Clever.
Chris, I'd like you to drop your gun where you stand.
Number 3, Zafiro Anejo tequila. As fictional brands go, this one's pretty significant.
Zafiro Anejo.
A tainted bottle of the stuff helped Gus take out an entire cartel mob, remember? But that wasn't its first appearance in the series.
You ever try Zafiro Anejo?
No, I have not, but I'm down for whatever. Through whatever she just said.
Zafiro Anejo tequila features a few times in Better Call Saul, notably in a scene where Jimmy and Kim scam a guy called Ken in a bar, convincing him to buy them $50 shots of the stuff. Jimmy also buys a congratulatory bottle for him and Kim to drink in season 3 of the show.
Hey. What is this right?
Yes, sir. It is.
Number 2, Loyola's Diner. A lot goes down in Albuquerque diners, especially at the famed Loyola's Diner.
We have Lipton's. That's pretty much all we have.
This seemingly normal eatery is a favorite meetup spot for Mike and Lydia in Breaking Bad. And Mike can also be seen taking Jesse for a meal here in season 4 of the series. If its setting looks familiar, that's because it also features numerous times in Better Call Saul, with Jimmy meeting the Kettlemans, Mike meeting Hector Salamanca, and Mike also occasionally dining there alone.
Sorry. Woo! The mysteries of the bladder, right?
So, not only that, but it's actually a very real restaurant that you can go to and visit in Albuquerque. Before we unveil our favorite Easter egg, here are a few honorable mentions.
6353 Wantabo, apartment 6.
That's it? That's what you want to buy?
People will believe it, at least. I worked here for 4 years.
Wax on, wax off. Was that you?
I take calculated but aggressive risks because I want to catch lightning. And I do. Practically a money printing machine.
Come on, move your ass. Damn it, yeah, what do I care? Yeah, dude, I'm not worried. I got the best freaking attorney. Yeah, I would not want to be on the other side of this one. He's got this little team of ninjas, too.
Okay. I'll see you next week, Tuco.
Don't let shopping strain your brain, oh. Just sing this short refrain, oh. Our furniture is bueno. Tampico is the name, oh.
You hear that? I found your dumbass clients.
You're welcome.
I'm sorry. What?
Number 1, Kevin Costner. You're never quite sure whether what's coming out of Saul's mouth is fact or fiction. And when he claims that he managed to convince a woman he was Kevin Costner in Breaking Bad, most of us likely assumed it was just an elaborate lie in order to prove a point to Walt.
I once convinced a woman that I was Kevin Costner, and it worked because I believed it.
But it turns out he was telling the truth. In an episode of Better Call Saul, you see a hazy-eyed Jimmy waking up to the sight of a confused and angry woman, who is quickly realizing that he is not who he said he was the night before.
You are not Kevin Costner.
I was last night.
Jesus. Asshole.
That's Jimmy. Do you agree with our picks? Let us know in the comments. And hey, if you're a fan of the song playing right now, be sure to check out the music video for it right here.
Dear mother, did you warn us this place would be great? That nothing was free and you've gotta pay to play.